I'm Zelda Dubel. I wrote this book, To Yosemite by Stage, from Raymond to Wawona, and remember. Now, in 1886, a railroad came to Raymond. It had a turntable, and it would leave off the trains and passengers, and then turn around and go back. So then people, only the wealthy could travel in those days, and people got off the trains and marched on the stages and went up to Yosemite. They wanted to see the big trees. That was the biggest tourist attraction at that time. So they got on these stages and went up this dirt road, narrow road, and it was all uphill, so they had to change horses every 8 miles. So they passed these places like Summit House, Grub Gulch, Gertrude, Poison Switch, and so on, and got to the town of Ahwahnee for lunchtime. Okay, this was 42 miles total, and it took 12 hours. And so anyway, they got to lunch, they got to Ahwahnee for lunch, and went inside and had a very elegant lunch with linen tablecloths, polished silverware. It was very nice. And then they got on their way and went to Wawona. Well, from Ahwahnee, they go through Nippanawasi, and then the dirt road is still a dirt road today. It heads over toward Highway 41, just below Fish Camp. And on that road is a small hotel called Cedar Brook Inn. And my former husband and I owned that for a few years, 1956 to 1964, and tried to run it as a guest ranch, but didn't make any money, so we moved to Fresno to work. But we bought it from, it had quite a history. It's on the Mariposa County Historic Register. And it was built by the Shaw family, who, Mr. Shaw had a store in Raymond, and he went up and built Cedar Brook Inn. So, we were only the second owners, so we bought it from the family, and we had access to all of their old pictures and their stories, and so I put a lot of this information and pictures in my book. And and I also, genealogy is my hobby, so I dug out some genealogy of some of the people I write about, like the stage drivers and the store owners, the hotel owners, and the people I write about. So there's a lot of genealogy in it, plus a history. It's all facts, it's nonfiction. So anyway, now we're at Ahwahnee and having lunch. And okay, they had holdups along the way. I write about the Indians. There's 25 chapters. I write about many places that don't even exist anymore. Grub Gulch is just a turn in the road, and it used to have hotels, and a lot of saloons and stores and livery stables and everything. So many of these immigrants were European people who came over to look for gold. There were 3 big gold mines, 2 in Grub Gulch and 1 near Gertrude. And so for a certain period of time, they were doing really well, and people were coming for gold, but naturally found that they could start businesses and stores and hotels to make their money too. So, so that's how the people settled up there. Now in Cedar Brook Inn, it's a 4,100 feet elevation, quite remote. And so if people needed a place to stay or a meal, you know, the Shaw family accommodated them because there was no place else to go. So then gradually automobiles came in. About 1913, the stages stopped because of automobiles. And then the road was still used for autos, what do you call them?
Auto stages?
Yeah, well, now auto stages too, but you know, car rallies, you know, the people would just take a drive, you know, for recreation. And so it was a big deal for that. And so even in automobile times, they had auto garages and things along the way. So And also, I worked at the post office in Awani for a couple of years, and so I knew some of the old timers, the people of the earliest families that settled there. And also, now I volunteer at the California History Room and Genealogy in Fresno, and that's where I got a lot of my information from microfilms of old newspapers and tax records and Yosemite books, all Yosemite books and things like that. And so it is just full of facts, and if you'd like to take a look at it, be my guest.
What is your name again?
Zelda Dubel, D-U-B-E-L.